Selecting a property management team to manage your investment is one of the most important decisions you will have to make. When you choose O'Brien Real Estate to manage your investment, you can rest easy knowing that you're dealing with the true professionals. The best managing agents are identified by track records, vacancy rates, commitment to the best returns, professional portfolio managers, access to tenants, and a huge office network. We understand that selecting the right renter for your property is essential. Our team will ensure your property is marketed correctly and suitable applicants are reference checked for proof of employment and income and previous rental history or ownership. Promotion and marketing of your property is also key, and we will promote your property across the following channels: agent promotion, video and digital media including 3D walkthroughs with Matterport, property promotion on all the major websites, and print media. We have a large network of people ready to help you achieve the best rental price possible in the shortest amount of time with the very best of renters. At O'Brien Real Estate, we believe that real estate is all about relationships and working closely with our rental providers to achieve the best possible result. Respecting your situation is always our priority. The state vacancy rate is sitting at 1.37% and the City of Casey well below that at 0.65%. Proving just how sought after investment properties are in the City of Casey. Across the O'Brien Real Estate Network, our team has leased 710 properties this quarter alone. Servicing the City of Casey, our team are here to help with offices in Berwick, Cranbourne, and Narre Warren. At O'Brien Real Estate, with one of us, you get all of us.
And welcome to O'Brien's Rental Provider Night. This is the second one that we've done, and it's absolutely a pleasure to do it again. We had such a wonderful response from our first one, which we did at the end of the financial year, that we thought we'd come back and do one at the end of Q1 of the 2021-22 financial year. Tonight we have three people with us. We've got Isabel Chan, who's the team leader from O'Brien Real Estate Berwick, Harry Turner, who's the team leader from Cranbourne office at O'Brien Real Estate, and Gail, who's our new business manager at Narre Warren. So they're going to give us an insight on what's actually going to happen in the market, taking us through the lockdown period, which is our last quarter. Will actually talk us through what's going to happen with the future when we get to that. After the wonderful news as of today, we're really back and operating from this weekend. A couple of things that we want to remember. We have a quick Q&A at any point in time. We will get to it, and if we need to answer it at the time or at the end, we'll take some time for that. Now, most importantly, you can SMS these questions through on 0419 150 041. They will be put through to us, and the most professional person here will be able to handle it. Guys, the response last time was fantastic, and at O'Brien Real Estate, our purpose is always to facilitate growth. Now, that's what we're here to do, and that's why the responses from last time, we're going to take them on a journey, and the questions with your surveys and feedbacks, we're going to take that on a journey tonight to make sure we can handle that. We have had some time now with the RTA changes that have been in place, but more importantly, I think our leading introduction there showed the vacancy rate is being so fantastic. It's just a really great time to do real estate. It's a very good time to be an investor, and in a marketplace that I've never seen growth as high as this. So tonight's really important, guys. And this is going to reach out to so many people, and we did say if they happen to miss it, we will send it out to them afterwards. But more importantly, let's get on to it. And we'll start the conversation up. So it's a Q&A, it's an open conversation, it's a panel. So let's get to it. So I'm going to start with you, Gail. You know, being a new business manager, doing a super job, probably the most experienced person I've got in real estate that I've been with. We've worked together on 20 years, so it's so exciting to be here. But I will start with the original question. How has the rental market been during lockdown?
Surprisingly, the rental market's been very strong with lots of investors buying property, shopping around for the right agent to manage their investment property. There's been difficult times with during lockdown, property managers having to work from home in their living room, but they're still managing to get the job done. And also rents have increased in the last 18 months substantially, and I really feel that renters are paying what a mortgage would be in a month.
We talk about return on investment, which is exactly, and I think that's a great summary of what's actually happening in the marketplace. I did sort of want to mention that Gail is not only, she's been CEO of another company for us and also a head trainer at the REIV. So you're very experienced in this, so it's really exciting to have you here.
Thank you.
Being a head trainer that you've been in now with us for a period of time, leasing during lockdown, you know, days on market, some technology we brought in with our O'Brien 360, which is a Matterport, or even the influx of renters. How did you handle that?
Well, we've actually got a lot of renters out there, but not enough stock. You know, there's not enough rental stock out there. It's more of a shortage, and rents are going through the roof because of that. We actually at O'Brien's have introduced an initiative by purchasing a Matterport, which does 3D photography and video. And in the time we've been in lockdown, it's been really valuable and amazing. You can virtually walk through the property. You can measure up, see where your furniture's going to fit. See if, you know, the fridge is the right size if you're having to buy white goods. Our application volume has gone up.
It's true that you say the application volume's gone up. It's been extraordinary. Now, being out in the city of Casey, which I've been there for over 20 years now, I've never seen a volume of application, but I think that we all did have to pivot, we call it these days, don't we, through that lockdown period, and tech has been absolutely enormous. And I think it's actually changed the game of application. You spoke about the Matterport camera, or we call it the O'Brien 360. Okay. The one thing that we talk about there is that tenants are now just applying sight unseen, are happy to do it because of the ability to actually see the size of the property, as you said, measure it. And I think that's going to stay for a long, long time.
Absolutely.
You mentioned lack of properties, though.
Yep.
That's huge, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I haven't seen it in all my 23 years.
And I'm going to go across to Harry on this. Before we step into what you were meant to talk about, you said 0.65% or 0.63% vacancy rate in the city of Casey.
Yeah, that's right. Just not enough stock. Lots of people out there looking to move out this way. But to try and combat that, we're looking at communicating within our own teams, but communicating within offices and surrounding suburbs as well, so that renters who miss out on a property, we can try and push them onto other properties and get them in as quickly as possible.
We talk about the renters that are missing out, and you touch base the importance of a network and that opportunity, Harry. A good customer is a renter, and I don't like the word, but it is the word we use these days. And you said that you're actually now, there's a customer experience that we're doing for them.
Yeah, that's right. We're trying to create that experience for both sides of the coin, both parties, because having a harmonious relationship between a renter and a rental provider is what's going to help both parties in the long run.
And I'll go back to Gail then, because you're obviously our new business manager on that, Gail. And the most important thing is we talked about, you know, the confidence the rental providers can do taking it to the market. You know, when you list the market through the property during lockdown, now we're back in the open market. How confident should you be about investing in real estate at the moment?
It's a good question, Dean. I feel investors that are settling on properties lack confidence when they're looking around for an agent. They feel that during lockdown, with the restrictions, that we weren't able to lease their property in time. I give them the confidence by sending them a link to the Facebook page for Narry Warren, and they can see we launch as soon as the property's on the market. We launch it on our social, and then as soon as it's leased, and the evidence is there. You know, some are between 5 and 7 days, some are 24 hours.
Yeah. Harry pointed out with that great voiceover, Harry. If you weren't too sure of that voiceover, that was our old mate Harry Turner here, which over 700 properties leased in the city of Casey. Extraordinary numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge.
And we don't see that changing, do we?
Not at all, not at all.
So the reason for that, guys, is that we're not here, as we said, just to give you what's been happening. We're also here to show you there is a real confidence in that marketplace like I've never seen before. But, you know, Gail, you were listing during lockdown, right? How were you listing them, as you said? So, you know, we did a lot of Zoom over the phone, Zoom, but more importantly, proposals were like beautiful, weren't they?
Yeah, look, I believe, I've just got the right tools and technology. I can pitch over Zoom, got really good property management report that, I can go through, don't have to go through the whole lot with them, have a conversation. I've been winning the business through it.
And I think that's one of the things that you talk about being able to pitch over Zoom is we can actually now create convenience. We've talked about, a lot of times we'd have to catch up with your property manager or your new business manager like yourself, where you'd have to wait till after work. Well, now we've got a great system here and got some great tech that we can do at lunch breaks, we can do in afternoon breaks, we can do it in work period, that we can actually say we can just make the job a lot easier. And you spoke about that proposal through pitch.
Yep.
You're doing some great work on that, yeah?
Yep, I'm very happy with it.
So let's get on to the next 12 months then.
Oh, yeah, well, Dean, I'd love to have a crystal ball to be able to predict what's going to happen in the next 12 months. However, I believe that COVID-19 has set the trend for higher rents. However, I don't think they can go any further because renters are not going to be able to meet the affordability.
Yeah, but we've said that before, haven't we? And it's continuing to grow and grow and grow. And as you said, it's ultimately that crystal ball.
Yeah, true, but I can sort of see, 12 months ago, let's say this time last year, the rents are up like $40 to $60 a week.
Yeah, which is up, on an average rent of $400. When you talk about that is up considering around 20 to 30% that we're moving on to that space.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, though, that the supply and demand meets. So I'm actually looking at now, and we talk about pricing for investment properties where they're actually at a peak. Look, everyone in the city of Casey, or most people through Victoria, have had an increase of 19% of their actually net wealth over that period of time. The management side of rental, it's actually increased that level as well. So you sit from a property management perspective, I sit from a director's perspective, and as I continue to look at it and I go, that crystal ball is a wonderful, wonderful thing, but history shows it keeps going up. So, and the lockdown has, and I think the ability for areas like we serve, which is the city of Casey, to be more and more importantly, because what used to have to be driving into the city, they're becoming more lifestyle out there with great schools, etc. like that. So we'll look back in 12 months and actually have that conversation, won't we, and see what actually goes on. Harry, what's going on with your thoughts on the next 12 months?
COVID has changed the way we look at life, the way we do life, the way we do work and family and stuff. I think the office worker now sees that they don't have to go into the office every day to be productive. A lot of people are even more productive working from home. So changing that lifestyle, moving out to the southeast, closer to the beaches, to places where rent is a lot cheaper than what they're used to paying closer into the city, just seems to be the smart choice for someone wanting to change their lifestyle.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's definitely lifestyle.
Yep.
It's like taking hold of that opportunities, families, schools, lockdown, etc. It is. I just want to remind anyone not to forget that there is that SMS opportunity that's up on screen now, which is 0419 150 041 for any messages come through. We'll certainly handle that for you. Yeah, I do agree. And I'll go. What hurdles did you face throughout COVID and how did you overcome them?
Well, I can say the first 5 lockdowns, I didn't cope very well. Basically, I was I was disappointed I couldn't engage with people face to face. I hated being at home. Every day seemed like Groundhog Day. However, hopefully it's the last lockdown, I shifted my mindset and just, thought, well, look, I've been given the right technology and I'm going to work this technology and make it work.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing. I think a lot of people will continue to actually look at opportunities as an opportunity. We're lucky enough to be here in Croc Media in South Melbourne live tonight, and we caught up for a pre-meeting on South Bank there, and it was just fantastic to see so many people out and about in Melbourne shining on such a balmy spring night there was tonight. So it was absolutely awesome. So I agree. It's treated everyone differently. Real estate is enormous. We just had a question come in. When will landlord inspections recommence? Friday, isn't it, Izzy? I might turn that across to you.
Yes, so we have information from the REIB that they can commence if deemed essential. We are still waiting on a bit of clarity though on whether owners can attend with us, but hopefully we'll be able to get back out there and on the tools doing inspections for all of our owners.
Yeah, and it's great. And as you said, it's an important, it is an essential thing, and we will get out there as soon as possible. We're doing a lot of digitals
Yes,
inspections.
I was going to mention that. So we've been doing lots of virtual inspections during the lockdown. We have held off on those first inspections though. So any sort of renters that have been in there for a long period, we've just been doing those virtual inspections so that they don't fall too far behind.
Yeah, fantastic. Harry, I'm going to leave this to you because you're obviously the key leader in that Cranbourne office and leading your team as well as you do. Tell me, VCAT, what's going on? Because a lot of our rental providers, I do apologise everyone, rental providers, are not too sure and can't really understand or comprehend how hard it is to get to VCAT at the moment.
Yeah, VCAT's definitely been a challenge. I think due to COVID, the moratoriums we had on the laws last year, losses of jobs and so forth, there's just been a tremendous strain on the VCAT system itself. VCAT have sent out a number of emails saying that they're facing severe staff shortages, which are then impacting delays to hearings and that sort of thing. It's affecting the service that they're providing, compared, face-to-face, compared to what we're having to do now, which is telephone hearings. It's just got really, really slow. So now they're trying to prioritise the hearings into a specific order.
Just the mechanicals behind a telephone hearing. I often see you guys, whether it be yourself, Harry, or Izzy, supporting our team in that. You could be sitting on the phone for how long at a period of time waiting for a hearing?
Yeah, sometimes the hearings are an hour delayed just to get into the hearing. And then it makes it difficult presenting your argument and the respondent presenting their argument as well. It does take a long time.
And it's fair to say, that I've got a note down here and you can confirm that 50% capacity at the moment, is that right?
That's right. So VCAT would usually, with a face-to-face, be hearing about 60,000 cases a year. Currently they're hitting around 30,000.
So it's an interesting part of our game, which has changed with the 132 Residential Tenancy Act changes, VCAT being at 50% capacity, volumes up enormously. Mediation. Tell me more about mediation, mate.
So mediation's at the moment we feel the best way to go. For a lot of things, it's taking, especially for bond and compensation, they're the main cases that you're going to want to mediate for. That's not just for loss of rent, but that's for damages to properties and that sort of thing, for getting compensation to a property to do repairs. There's over 10,000 cases waiting to be heard for bond and compensation, and that means that the time that you're waiting is over a year now. I think Isabel's got a case from May last year, still hasn't been heard, still doesn't have a hearing date scheduled.
Do you want to tell us about that, Isabel, that case? Because it's not... look, I understand how the rental provider must be feeling, but a lot of the pressure's coming back on you, and I think that you have a great relationship with your rental provider, but the real thing is here, just explain that case as an example for anyone watching tonight, because that would be really important for them to hear that.
Yeah, so basically we had a renter in there who was issued an end of fixed term notice. So the tenancy wasn't going to smoothly anyway, so the owner knew that they wanted to move that tenant on and find a new renter. Unfortunately, when we did the final inspection, the tenant did have a few pets that had damaged the carpet throughout, and their landlord insurance policy unfortunately didn't cover that also. So we had to put in a claim for bond and compensation. In the meantime, the rental provider had to get the carpet replaced, so is now waiting for this hearing and currently out of pocket until we have the hearing heard for the bond and compensation. But as Harry said, I've been waiting 12 months, and quite a few other team members of the Berwick team are also in similar circumstances. So
VCAT's behind, and as you said, we can understand that, and we respect that. Rental providers have a right for this, but please bear in mind we're only here to help, and I think the best thing is to communicate completely with your property manager to explain the situation. Feel free now to, if we can pop in, to do that, because we are working for our rental providers in this space, but it's a hard game at the moment with VCAT. We're coming up to summer, and there's a lot of urgent repairs coming up, Izzy.
Yes.
You know, so a complete understanding what is an urgent repair, I think, would be really, really important.
So basically an urgent repair is a breakdown in any essential service that a renter would require on a day-to-day basis. So essentially it's a breakdown in the gas, water, electricity supply. So some examples of this are a burst water service, broken heating unit, blocked or broken toilet systems, dangerous electrical faults, and serious water or gas leaks. That basically sort of sums up what an urgent repair is.
Given the warmth of today, is an air conditioner a urgent repair?
Yes, so previously it wasn't, but in the new changes to the Residential Tenancies Act, if a property is fitted with an air conditioning unit, that is now classed as an urgent repair. So a few other changes that came into effect were mould can now be deemed as an urgent repair, and any sort of major structural damage within the building as well, and pest infections, anything that would infestations, anything that would make the property unsafe or insecure.
And how does our renters report these, and how's your team handle them?
Yeah. So once they're reported to us, it can be done either through their tenant portal in Property Me, or they can report it straight to us via email or on the phone. If it's reported to us via the phone, we will log it in the system on behalf of the renter. We will then notify our owners in writing via SMS and email, and also give them a phone call to try and obtain approval to action the repair. If we can't get in contact with our rental provider, we will contact their emergency contacts as well to try and obtain approval on their behalf, or have them try and contact you as well. So we'll also always make every effort to get in contact with our rental providers before going ahead with any works at the property.
And I think that's important, is that we just don't go out and do that, even though it seems that we can. But we'll touch on what is the money limit that a renter has to do. If there is there a limit on on the renters for urgent repairs now with the RTA changes?
Yes, so previously this was $1,800. It's now been increased to $2,500. I do just need to put our rental providers at ease though. A renter can't just go and skip to this stage straight away and utilise this amount. They do need to go through the correct avenues of reporting it to us, so that we have that opportunity to contact our rental providers as well.
And I think one of the things that makes people feel very comfortable about that, we had Cameron Owens from Conveni. If they can't afford it, what can we do for that help?
So Cameron spoke on our last landlord night. So Conveni have developed a product called Prop Pay. So essentially Prop Pay acts as like an afterpay, like a buy now, pay later service. So many of our rental providers have found this quite handy and utilise this during to bring their property up to standard with all the new changes. But it's also there and a really good sort of safety thing to fall back on if any urgent maintenance arises at the property as well. So it's not just maintenance that it can be used for, it's also council rates, any sort of costs associated with an investment.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, and Cameron from Conveni has been a great supporter of O'Brien Real Estate, and we have a great partnership to do that, and I don't think at any point in time we've had anyone knock back. I think it's actually been very well embraced across the team.
Yep.
And I know it's very hard, especially with these new changes with safety and electrical techs that we actually did last time in our first renter provider night, that Cameron's been enormously great help for us. So for any of the rental, don't feel that you're in a position where you can't. We do have solutions for you guys. That's the most important thing. Again, it's the communication, and it's always early communication with your property management team, communication with the team leader, with your new business development. All that is really, really important that we can actually fix for that. But there is what we do, and this one last question I do have for you, Izzy, because it's very close to my heart, because at the moment I had a property that was managed by not us, which is comfortable in saying, but I put a property manager and they didn't maintain it. They sent me reports, didn't look at it. I had a 10-year tenant in there, which is quite extraordinary, and thanks to Patricia, who actually was the tenant. She was lovely and everything. But the problem was, when I went in there, I went to do a few handy works, and it completely turned into a complete renovation. So maintaining a property is really, really important, and I think that the classic of that is we're not looking to improve, but consistent maintaining, because what turned into a new bathroom, new kitchen for me, turned into new subfloors, new walls, new weatherboards, new kitchen, new bathroom, but the whole thing could have been tore it down. And I won't mention who managed it, but it was disappointing, and I don't think a tenant had to put up with it. I was disappointed because I entrusted and paid for that, so I think it's really good. So I'll move on. I've just had my little say there, and I hope that property manager's watching that. No, I'm joking. But more importantly, Izzy, what should we be doing to maintain a property? What's some tips?
So definitely if our owners don't attend the routine inspections with us, just make sure you check those reports that we do send out, because we will have suggestions in there of what we think should be done at the property. But my first tip would be to attend to all maintenance items that arise, even the minor ones, because attending to a minor maintenance could stop it from jumping up to a major and costly repair. Another thing is to freshen up the property between tenancies, so whether that be painting or replacing the carpets. So most fittings and fixtures have a certain lifespan, and with turnover of tenancies, they do get the repercussions of wear and tear as well. So just on that, another tip would be to have a professional clean between tenancies. So under the new legislation, a renter is, if we have the property professionally cleaned prior to them moving in, they do need to, and we can prove that, they do need to also have the property professionally cleaned upon vacating as well. So I always say that first impressions count, and a renter is more likely to look after something that's presented well rather than run down and unclean. So another one is regular testing of smoke alarms, which is now mandatory for our owners anyway. And lastly, just to get the gutters and downpipes cleaned every 6 to 12 months. So we'll keep an eye out at this at routine inspections also, just to stop any blockages in drains and plumbing issues.
As inspections come back and we're doing them, do we have the ability to do what we call not a virtual inspection, but we can actually take a landlord through an inspection at the same time, can't we?
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of our landlords, I keep saying landlords, our rental providers, don't be afraid to say to your property manager, look, when that routine is, if you can't make it on a face-to-face or be at the property, can you please take advantage of what we are doing now and having a virtual workflow for you, whether it be through Inspection Express, which is another piece of tech, whether it be FaceTime, whatever you feel comfortable. I think that is a great opportunity to get back involved. A lot of these properties, people haven't been involved because they haven't been allowed to, but get back involved with your property and look over it. And as much as I did joke about the situation, it was actually my fault because I wasn't involved in my property. I paid a professional to do it, which is great because of ease and commitment, but I think in 10 years I probably should have viewed it once. But now with technology, we can actually view it more.
Yeah.
So guys, we've got another question here which has just come in. How are VCAT prioritising cases that they are hearing, Harry?
Yep, so VCAT are getting about 10 urgent repair hearing requests a day. And those are for things like Isabel mentioned, breakdown of essential services, so cooking, heating, hot water, that sort of thing. So those are number one in the queue. After that, the family violence is number two. We then get threats and intimidation, and then number 4 on the list is rental arrears. So it's taking 10 weeks from application to get a hearing date for rental arrears. So that's 10 weeks from application, not 10 weeks from sending the notice. So you could be looking at 13 to 14 weeks all up before you even get in front of a VCAT member. After that is the bond and compensation hearings. And then last on the list is pets, because now to have a pet removed from a property, you have to make an application to VCAT. But VCAT are not prioritising that very high. We
spoke about pets once before, I think last time. Have we ever had a pet taken out by a VCAT application yet?
We haven't, but I think there has been one that has been successful in the past 12 months.
And I think that was probably someone living in an apartment with a dog wasn't suitable for the property?
Yeah, and it could have been down to a body corporate as well, that sort of thing. But there has been renters win with having a border collie in a 1-bedroom apartment with no garden. So that goes to show the standard to which VCAT are looking at it.
I've got another question here. Hi guys, do you have any documents that you can share on the new RTA changes? Who wants to handle that one?
I can.
Excellent, Izzy, thank you.
Definitely. So we put together a booklet on really sort of simple with just a breakdown of all the new RTA changes. We also, us property managers, keep it on our desks and refer back to it. It's really simple. So I'm happy for whoever the owner is out there that sent that question to email me, and I'm happy to send that through as well.
We might actually take advantage of that question. We could think to it, like, we've got a PDF version. After this is a great information share, isn't it? Like, we probably missed people. We did send it out. It could be a new business manager that we actually haven't, new business that's come on. I think it's probably a great opportunity that if we just send an email link out with all those RTA changes for friendly reminders and all new business. And again, guy, whoever that was, I really do thank you for that, because this is about sharing and collaborating together how we can do and give you a better service at O'Brien Real Estate, and things like that can assist. We talk about our landlord logins on Property Me. Some of those things are probably really important to do for a lot of people. Let's take that opportunity, because we're all in the world of convenience, aren't we? So, Harry, logins on Property Me.
Yeah, so there's a portal for both rental providers and renters. So renters can lodge maintenance and look at rental receipts and check their lease and all that sort of thing. There's also a side for rental providers, so they can check whether the renter is paid to with their rent. They can check ongoing maintenance. They can see all the documents that they have in there. They can collect statements from rent that's been paid out to them and that sort of thing. A good tip also, you can hand that off to your accountant for tax time, and they can get access to all of your statements, end of financial year statements. So you can just pass on your login and they can do everything for you.
And it works with both Xero and MYOB comfortably across that, doesn't it?
Yeah, with a few rental providers, we have the ability with our system as well to add an additional email for just statements. They don't need to view any sort of documentation or your details through our system. They can just have the statements emailed to them as well, which I have a few owners that do that also.
So, as we're coming to the end, I'm going to go to you, Gail, again, and being a new business manager down at Narre Warren office with Fabian and Steve, and led wonderfully by Joanna. How are you feeling about being in property management over the next 12 months?
Great. I've got a great team I work with. I love it.
Yeah, they're great, isn't it? Caitlin and Stacey and now Renee that's on board. It's a great team out there, and we're really doing some great work.
Yes.
So
very positive.
Thank you for being part of tonight.
Thank you.
And I really do appreciate the great work that you're doing, and I'm sure does the team.
Thank you.
Harry, your team down there at Cranbourne, how are we going with that?
I think confidence is just growing. It's we've come out of difficult times, and looking forward, it's a bright future.
Yeah, and we're still looking for more people.
We are. So if you know anybody who wants to be a property manager at the Cranbourne office, please let us know.
And I think that's a positive, because even through these lockdowns, we talk about that. When you're in a growth mode, it's very exciting. And I think that's why you're feeling great, confident, Gail and Harry. And we are genuinely looking for someone who wants a career in real estate. So reach out. Don't be afraid to do that. Izzy, your team's doing super, super well there at Berwick.
Yes, I couldn't be more proud of the team at Berwick. So we're very excited to smash out the rest of the year, and looking forward to a really good year next year as well.
And we're lucky enough to have our quarterly awards there before, and we've got one, Josh, who works with you, who come number 2 in our organisation. How long had he been in real estate?
He's only been in it for about 12 months now, and he's actually absolutely killing it. And we had Rach in our top 10 as well.
Rach is pretty consistent.
She's always in our top 10.
So, but it was great to see Josh, and I think the positive of that is great leaderships build great people, and that's what I've got here with Izzy, Harry, Joanna, Nicole at Wanturna, absolutely super, and obviously then Gail, and you said confidence growing every day with a great place to go. So to everyone out there, all our rental providers, thank you so much for being part of the O'Brien Network. As I said, fulfilling our purpose is to facilitate growth. That's what we want to do. So what I do ask is everyone reach out to your property manager. Don't be afraid. Silence isn't easy to do. We can fix anything for you. We just need early communication. But again, have a great night. From O'Brien Real Estate, thank you, and we'll see you again next quarter.